Welcome to the gift of second. I created the gift of second for people who've experienced a suicide in their lives, whether it be a close friend or a family member. I think there are a lot of resources and a lot of money put towards suicide prevention, but once a suicide actually takes place, there's not much. And I think that most people feel left behind, they feel abandoned, they feel rejected, they feel alone and isolated. They feel that nobody understands them. And then they, on top of that, have to deal with the grief of a suicide, the questions, the chaos, the sadness, the anger. Suicide is a really difficult circumstance. And a lot of times we're left to kind of face it on our own. Statistically, in the United States, someone commits suicide every 13 minutes. And for every suicide, it is said that it impacts 6 people directly. So that means that every 13 minutes, 6 more people become impacted by suicide, and yet we have nowhere to go. Also, statistically, if you've experienced a suicide in your life, you're much more likely to commit suicide yourself. And so we have no resources in place for survivors, for those impacted by suicide, and we're kind of expected to go on with our lives and figure it out. It doesn't really work that way. And so I created the gift of second so that anybody who's experienced a suicide in their life can come and hopefully feel encouragement, understanding, and a sense of community. When I went through my mom's suicide 24 years ago, I feel like I didn't have any resources. I didn't know anybody that had ever experienced a suicide, and therefore I felt really alone and isolated. It wasn't until 13 years later that I actually met somebody who's had experienced a suicide as well. And it was mind-blowing to say, oh my gosh, I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. And I think it's rare that anybody who's been impacted by suicide talks about it, and that's a huge disservice to one another. And so I want the gift of second to be a place where you can come and you can find encouragement, and you can find hope, and you can find community, and you can find connection. Brene Brown has this quote that says, the 2 most powerful words when we're in struggle are me too. And so I hope that you will come and you will watch videos and you will read blogs and you will say, me too. Me too. I totally feel that way. I totally get what they're talking about. I understand. And they understand me. And I would love it if you would contribute. I would love if you're a writer and you want to contribute, please get a hold of me in the contact section. I named it the gift of second so that anybody who's going through a suicide right now, who just experienced a suicide for the first time, they feel lost and they feel, what now? What do I do now? And so the gift of going second is that you have a lot of people ahead of you that have already gone through this. And so I would like to be as one of those people that have gone through it a long time ago and more recently. There's been a couple in my life that we could give them. The gift of going second is that you have a whole community ahead of you that knows exactly what you're going through, and we want to be there for you, and we want to encourage you, and we want to be there and say, we understand you, we get it, me too. I think suicide is a really dark and depressing event, and I would love for this to be a place where healing begins and where light and hope enter. We lost our loved ones, but we don't have to lose ourselves. So please come and participate. And welcome to the gift of second. I'm really sorry that you're here, but I'm glad that you found us. Thank you.